Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. As you guys know, we are living in unprecedented times. Unprecedented times in the United States. It's at a point where I think a lot of people should be worried. This ain't no we're doing good and if you believe that you are living on the moon. Nothing about what has been going on should make anybody feel like, oh yeah, man, things are great. Things are going perfect. Unless you either don't know what's going on, you lack the comprehension skills to understand what's going on, or one or the other, right? Things are crazy. So was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday, day before yesterday. I think it was, it was yesterday or so. I believe it was yesterday, depending on the time, obviously, where Charlie Kirk was killed in a way. And first of all, I didn't see the video. I don't want to see the video. I saw bits and pieces of it, him being rushed to what looked like a car, like to the hospital or something like that. I didn't see it. And it's it's all over the internet. People, you open up Twitter, it's everywhere. Even if you don't follow any accounts that would send that information to you, you'll still see it somehow, some way, right? But I haven't seen the footage. But I have been following in the aftermath of the shooting and him dying and everything that's being said, and it's just utter chaos out there. So this morning, we were kind of looking for what to discuss, and then Mitch sends me over some pretty startling information. The first one has to do with the Phoenix Suns, and apparently the Phoenix Suns decided to fire a reporter because he made some comments that were, I guess, directed towards Charlie Kirk. I'm going to quickly show you guys the post here. This is from Basketball Forever. It says the following: Phoenix Suns have fired Suns reporter Gerald Bourget over comments he made about Charlie Kirk's death on social media. He posted, "Political differences are not the same thing as spewing hateful rhetoric on a daily basis, and refusing to mourn a life devoted to that cause is not the same thing as celebrating gun violence. Just so we are 100% clear on that." He also posted, "If you're saddened by today's political violence, horrified by the video, or repulsed by my response, ask yourself why your reaction was different when it came to high school shootings, mass deportations, or hundreds of videos of horrific murders in Gaza, which Kirk cheered on." He then added, "Truly don't care if you think it's insensitive or poor timing to decline to respect an evil man who died. Too many of you are more concerned with being polite and appearing to be good rather than showing some damn backbone and standing up on principle to condemn hate." The company announced the firing on X. "The opinions expressed by our employee do not represent the views of Phoenix," I'm assuming the Phoenix Suns, "or Alt City Network. We take matters involving violence very seriously and are committed to ensuring that All City remains a safe place for our employees and community alike. We have addressed this matter with the individual and made the decision to part ways." So that's what they did. Then there's another article here posted on Awful Announcing saying the following: Fox Sports Las Vegas radio producer fired for Charlie Kirk post. It then continues on. A Fox Sports Las Vegas radio producer has been fired after making multiple social media posts regarding the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. According to screenshots shared to social media, Bobby Machado made multiple posts celebrating Kirk's death, including one which stated, "Karma is a mother effer." Mercado, who has since deactivated his social media account, had severed as the producer of the JT Brick Show and has also worked on radio broadcasts over Vegas Golden Knights games. Now it said this. Let me see if I can find the initial post here, because I think it's important that we find that. It says, Okay, this is what they said there at Fox Sports Las Vegas. It says a team member shared offensive comments on personal social media. While we respect personal beliefs, we do not tolerate hate or discrimination. The individual is on leave. These views do not reflect the Lotus Station or our partners. We apologize sincerely. So that's what these guys are saying there. They also expressed some other comments that they left here. It said, here's another one here that we have here. It says, we deeply are disturbed by him, Charlie Kirk. It said, this post was made independently on the individual's social media account and in no way reflects the views or values of Lowe's Communication, our station, our employees, or our valued partners. We do not and will never condone this kind of rhetoric. The individual was terminated immediately and is no longer an employee of our company. We extend our sincere apologies for this horrible and offensive words there. So that was the official statement there. You guys can go hunt it down for yourselves if you want to check it out and kind of give your thoughts on it. So what are my thoughts about this? As I said from the onset, this thing is messy. I want to say this also, and I say this with my chest. I was raised as a Pentecostal Christian, okay, by my grandmother since I was a child, like dating all the way back till I was 2 years old. My family is full of religious people. On my dad's side, it's full of Catholics. On my mom's side, we have Pentecostal and all of that. And I have very religious family members, uncles, and all that. One of my uncles, Uncle Ivy, catches you in a conversation, and he's talking to you about, and he starts talking to you. You're in for about a 2.5, 3 hour conversation about the Bible, right? So I was raised around Christianity as a child, and me myself, I read the Bible a lot as a kid, especially when I was in college. So I'm a real Christian, but I don't need to go around shouting that I'm a Christian. I don't believe it's necessary, right? I don't believe it's necessary. One of my favorite books in the Bible, in the New Testament, is the book of Matthew, the book of John. Why do I like these books? Because here you get to hear from Jesus Christ himself speak, right? So I'm very, very aware of the things that Jesus said, how he viewed the world, how he viewed humanity, how he viewed kindness, how he viewed compassion, and all of these things. And God clearly stated that if you relish in the demise of somebody else, or me punishing that other person, if you relish in that, if you take joy in that, I'll remove my wrath from that person and bring it on towards you, right? So Jesus doesn't like anybody, doesn't like when people relish in other people's pain, even if they're in the wrong. So I am not one of these people that celebrated it. I really didn't. Who celebrates something that gruesome? I don't, right? Because it's not a Christian thing to do. And I'm just not one of those people that celebrates death. There are people that do that. There are people that are explicitly cold-hearted, right? And it's the hell with you forever and ever and ever. But I am 100% aware of Charlie Kirk's rhetoric. And as a Christian, and I say this for real Christians, I don't support it. And some of the things that he was saying was not Christ-like. The least of these, which are the children and the poor, this guy said that if a few shootings that occur every single year have to occur, then so be it, for the price of protect the Second Amendment. So the lives of children are also on the table to protect an amendment that was created by man. I'm saying this as a Christian, a real one. I'm not a Christian when it's convenient. I'm not a Christian when it's time to virtue sick. I'm a real one. And I say that as well because I think it's important we understand this. I'm not a sanctimonious Christian that, oh, I'm all good and the rest of the world is bad. No, I'm flawed just like the next person, which is one of the reasons I don't go around talking about I'm a Christian. You need to look, I'm looking down on the world. I don't, because we are all flawed. No one is perfect except the Father that is in heaven. No one is perfect. No one is perfect. So my stance on this is simply this. I do not support political violence. I don't support violence at all. I think everybody should be given a platform to say what they want to say. And I don't think you need to be taken out for that. I don't support anything like that. I also don't support cold-heartedness, callousness towards the least of these. I don't. And I stand on my Christian principle, not something that somebody told me, what you can actually look up in the Bible. In the Bible, Charlie Kirk spoke about empathy and what are you even so love thy neighbor like thyself? How can you love thy neighbor like thyself without empathy? How do you do that as a Christian? And people are going to unsubscribe. So bloody be it. You're going to unsubscribe because you're reading a Christian is telling you what they said in the Bible. That's what you will be unsubscribing to. As you are unsubscribing, understand there is a fundamental difference between whatever Christianity you're spewing and the Christianity in the Bible. That's the one I adhere to. I don't bend it to fit my values, my worldviews. I adhere to it the way it is meant to be adhered to. Period. I am not somebody that walks around with hating people. I don't look down on people. I don't think people are less inferior. That's just not who I am. The other day I was defending Carmelo Anthony because people were making fun of, oh, his dad is Puerto Rican, and I called them out. If you're making fun of, I call you out. If you're making fun of this group, I'll call you out. Because wrong is wrong across the board. So I don't support any political violence at all, whatsoever. One of the reasons I didn't even watch that video, because I don't want to see it. I don't even want to enter my spirit to see it. And there should be no space for that. And I'm reading some of what's being said, the people that are celebrating it. I'm not amongst them. I'm not celebrating it. I am not celebrating it. But I'm indifferent to it. I'm indifferent to it. I've heard some of the things that Charlie Kirk has said about blacks, that they lack the processing power. My brother, if you look down on me as a human being, I have nothing for you. I don't hate you. I don't have bare negative intent about you, towards you, but I have nothing for you. I have nothing for you. Anybody that looks down on me is looking down on my mother, is looking down on my father, is looking down on my grandparents. I have nothing for you. I've had people message me yesterday, oh, you don't need to. Do I look like the Cartier brothers to you? Do I look like the Hodge twins to you? People are asking me to really, oh, you're looking at this thing the wrong way. This guy's not really saying that you're an inferior race. He's saying this. They're trying to coax me into agreeing with somebody that looks down on me. Would you agree with somebody that looks down on you for me to coax you to believe in what they're saying? No, you're looking at it the wrong way. So why are you asking me? Because you have the Hodge twins and all of these guys willing to say whatever it is for $1 or $2 or $3 or $4. I'm not one of them. I didn't come on YouTube begging for money. If I stop doing YouTube tomorrow, I'll be just fine. I'll go work in one of my dad's companies and have a nice life. That's me. I'm a real Christian, and I don't cast judgment on people. I don't go around judging people and all that, because nobody's perfect. We're all trying to be better every single day. What's the term that Cornel West used to always say? Try again, fail again, fail better. Try again, fail better. No one is perfect. We're trying to be better every single day. In terms of these publications deciding to fire these individuals, that's their bloody right. It's within their purview to do so. They employed them, so they fired them. Right? It's within their purview. And it also shows you not all views are accepted. Personally, anything that advocates for hate and supports that, I'm not for it. And it should be something that's uniform across the board. This is where I stand. Anybody that views me in a different way, as you're viewing me, say, man, Charles's Christianity, I don't rock with it. Understand that that's what you're saying. Charles's version of Christianity, I don't rock with it. The real Christians that are watching this video will understand what I'm saying. Those who are using it as a tool, they won't. It's on you. God is seeing all of us. We can play the games that we play on the internet, that we play when we're talking. At the end of the day, God is seeing all of us. You can fool me. You can fool that guy. You can never fool God. So, as you guys know, the NBA season is quickly approaching, right? It's quickly approaching. I think in years in the past, there's been a lot of excitement due to some of the storylines going into the season. This year, I kind of have a wait and see approach, but one of the teams I am interested in seeing how they do this year is, of course, the Los Angeles Lakers, who just extended Luka Doncic for a $160+ million deal over the next 3 years, really gearing him up to keep him there for the foreseeable future, so that Lakers were able to lock up his contract. Obviously, this will be LeBron James's last year with the team. They were also able to make some key moves this offseason, acquiring various pieces. So this morning I came across a report here that really stood out to me about what the Lakers' outlook is going into this coming season. And it's an article from, I think it's ABC, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it's from, let me see if I can see. Yeah, it's from NBC Sports, with the following headline saying, after Luka Doncic's strong Eurobasket, Lakers reportedly would try to be more aggressive with team building. And I'm like, okay. Let's get into what this report had to say. It says Luka Doncic was the best player at Eurobasket, averaging 34.7 points per game, 8.6 rebounds, and 7 assists. He may not win. He may not win the MVP because of Slovenia was eliminated in the round of 8. But that was as far as he could carry this roster. Coming off of a summer focus on conditioning, which went viral, Doncic looked dominant. Doncic's play and the fact that he signed a contract extension with them have the Lakers, who previously had focused on having cap space and flexibility next summer, considering a more aggressive approach, reports Dan at The Athletic. He specifically named Miami's Andrew Wiggins. Now let's continue on. According to team and league sources, the Lakers' stance on roster improvements heading into the season have shifted because of the start of this new chapter together. One area the team is focused on is upgrading the wing, where it needs more two-way talent. A player like Miami's Andrew Wiggins, who the Lakers weren't interested in earlier this summer, is now a more desirable player, provided the price is right. Wiggins, who played 60 games last season between Golden State and Miami, averaged 18 points per game and 4.5 rebounds while shooting 37.4% from the three. He was a solid wing player who can still show flashes of why he was drafted number 1 overall. Even with his play last season, Wiggins would be an upgrade over someone like Rui Hachimura for the Lakers. Wiggins, who makes $28.2 million this season, has a player option for $30 million next season. The buzz out of Miami has been that the Heat want to see how the team looks to start the season before making any moves. If the Heat struggle out the gate, they would have a financial incentive to shred salary, and then it continues on a few other things. Now, I want to read from another report as well. This is from Fadeaway World, and it has the following headline stating this. It says, Lakers rumors 3 aggressive trade scenarios to form championship core around Luka Doncic and LeBron James. Now, I just want to quickly jump to where they mentioned in the players. It says, acquire Andrew Wiggins from the Heat. That's one player that they're looking at, that the article is suggesting. Another one, it says, trade for Lauri Markkanen. Right? That's the second player that they believe could be of value to the Lakers. And the third one is pursue a deal for Trey Murphy III. So these are some of the guys that the Lakers are potentially considering if this was something that they wanted to pursue. Now, let me give you guys my thoughts about this. I have a few. First of all, the Lakers did make some key acquisitions this summer. They secured a big man in Ayen. They also got a wing defender in Marcus Smart, former Defensive Player of the Year. Although he's a little bit undersized, he could probably guard twos. 1s and 2s, 3s probably occasionally, probably on certain plays, but I don't think throughout the course of a game, and I don't think he could be effective against bigger wings like Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, and other players that you may think of. So they made some moves that I liked. One of the things, however, I do like is the confidence that Luka has coming into this season. Luka believes this team can compete. He believes that, and I like that. I think that's refreshing. I like the fact that we're not going into this season with the, oh my God, we're waiting to see why we don't need enough, why we need to just start scrambling and say we need more. I'm kind of sick of that narrative, and that's kind of been the trend with the Lakers for the last, 6, 7, 8 years, because any team that LeBron is on, if they don't perform well, all of a sudden he doesn't have enough help. So I'm happy to see a departure from that talking point, because it's actually stale at this point. We have that. Also, if you look at the Lakers' current roster, let's look at their starting 5, for example. Let's look at some of the key players they have. They have Luka Doncic. They have LeBron James. They have Ayen potentially. And then they have Austin Reeves. They have some issues to address on the defensive side of the ball. This is the fundamental problem. 3 out of those guys are not defensive stalwarts. 2 of them don't play defense at all. And if I had to say, if one of them, if they had to make an effort out of those 3 guys, if any one of them made an effort to at least play some semblance of defense, the person I'll give the nod to is LeBron. If a 41-year-old is in your starting lineup as a wing player, a perimeter player, and that's the guy that you think that if these guys put on their seatbelts and say we're going to play defense, he has the best chance of playing defense, you're in trouble. You are in a world of trouble. A world of trouble. So although Austin Reeves is a playmaker and he can score, he doesn't play defense. Luka Doncic is dynamic. He's a scorer. He's an offensive player. We all know the things that he can do. He can rebound, all of that stuff. But defense is where he cannot hang his hat. And then LeBron James is old. So if they're talking about getting Wiggins, my fear is that it doesn't put false hope in people's minds. Because usually what's been the trend at Lakerland over the last few years is every season, the Laker fan base and the media always heap the expectations on the season on role players. Oh, if we could just get this guy, what could happen? Oh, why isn't this guy doing? These are role players. When did role players ever become? When were role players ever difference makers for a team? When? So why do we expect this with the Lakers? Number one. Number two, even if they were to acquire Wiggins, and I don't know who they would acquire him for, is Wiggins going to cover up the defensive deficiencies for both Luka and LeBron James? Is that what's going to work? Are we being serious here? The fact of the matter is this. Defense is not Luka's strength. And it doesn't have to be his strength. What the Lakers need to do is build a good enough team around him. So therefore, he's not that much of a liability. His defensive abilities or lack thereof aren't the main reason they're not doing well. So currently, yes, they have dynamic players on the perimeter, but nobody plays defense. And they need to figure it out. Obviously, you can play great team defense and all that, but when you get to the playoffs, teams are going to pick you apart, man. They're going to attack your weaknesses and exploit them. So to me, I like the fact that Luka's being positive. I like the fact that the Lakers are thinking about being aggressive, but I'm just not sure this is going to be the season. And the Western Conference is stout. Whatever moves they make, I don't think it puts them ahead of Denver. I don't think it puts them ahead of OKC, and I'm not sure it puts them ahead of Houston. Folks, let's get ready to laugh, shall we? Shall we? We shall. As you guys know, NBA All-Star Weekend has been a sour point for the league over the last few years. If you want to get a glimpse of some terrible basketball, go back and look at these last two All-Star games. If you want to get a glimpse of it. That's why when people like Stephen Curry come out here and holler and talk about this is the greatest generation ever, like, bro, you don't need to be talking. You and a lot of your comrades have been a part of some of these disgraceful exhibition games. You don't need to be saying none of that. With all of that talent, y'all don't have one competitive bone in y'all body to go out there and put on a competitive game to the point where now the NBA has been reduced down to basically coming up with gimmicks every year to solve this problem because these jokers don't want to go out there and play. Like, come on, knock it off, right? Just knock it all the way off. So what happened? This week, Tracy McGrady made a guest appearance on Gilbert Arenas' show, The Arena now. And I won't lie to you, I didn't see the full show, but he was there talking about a bunch of things, his comments on Kobe, Shaq, LeBron and Kobe, and a whole bunch of things. I saw bits and pieces here and there. But there was one particular part that went viral, which was this. It was when Tracy McGrady revealed that the NBA will be having a 1v1, one-on-one rather, during All-Star Weekend. And I'm like, oh, goodness now. Well, this got me thinking. But before we even get into what I thought, take a listen to what T-Mac had to say here.
So with one-on-one basketball, obviously, you know, like, it has to be structured properly for us to enjoy it. Because, man, that like, it can be nasty when you watch. Like, nah, man, I don't want to watch. So the rules and everything, it has to be, the point system has to be perfect for you to be able to enjoy quality one-on-one basketball. And I think we have identified that. So I don't know if you guys know, but I had a conversation with NBC. Sorry, NBC, if I'm not supposed to be telling this, but I think they're going to have one-on-one at All-Star Weekend this year.
So you heard what Tracy McGrady had to say. Now, I just want to quickly touch on some additional things that was said here. This is from an article, Basketball Net, where it says, Tracy McGrady believes a one-on-one tourney could save the All-Star Weekend. Now, you creating stars in another category in our game. Now, I just want to quickly see where it says. He says, let's take our older superstars out. When you get rid of KD, Steph, and them boys, How many superstars are in our league? Not many, right? So we got to create more stars, he added. How do we create stars in our league? One-on-one. You know who is the guys that are going to get in. Them boys that are 10th and 11th on the bench, them the guys that are going to get in, and now you're creating stars in another category of our game. So T-Mac even believes that this thing could be very successful, and it can open up an avenue for us to kind of, for the NBA rather, to showcase its talent of his younger stars, and therefore you create new stars. So before I get into my full thoughts about this, I decided, because I am me, and we are the Dreamers Pro family, and we got to do it to these jokers, I decided to put up a few polls. And I want to show them to y'all. We put up 4 polls. Get ready to chuckle. First poll said, do you think KD will participate in a 1v1 All-Star weekend? Out of the 300 voters, 47% said yes. 53% said no, although KD has already said if they put up $1 million, he's participating. The other one said, do you think Kyrie will participate in a 1-on-1 All-Star weekend? 57% said yes, 43% said no. Next one, do you think Ant-Man will participate in a 1v1 tournament All-Star weekend? 61% said yes, 39% said no. Get ready to chuckle your asses off. Do you think LeBron will participate in a 1v1 at All-Star weekend? 97% of the people said no, 3% said yes. 97% said no. One guy said hell to the nah. Another guy said he'll fake an injury. Somebody said laughing my ass off at this question. Another guy said, remember, 1 versus 1 is not real basketball. And people just kept on roasting him, man. People kept on roasting him. So I think personally, I think LeBron James should jump in there. You know what I mean? I think Bron should go in there and really show us what's what. You the king, right? Well, kings don't back down from a challenge, baby. They don't back down. They're going to walk up in there, take off their cape or their robe or whatever the hell it is they be wearing, take off his crown, put it on the table, be like, yo, hold this for me. Who wants this? Come on up. But we all know what's going to happen. LeBron is going to run from the smoke. And I think it's just insane to think that some people are saying that this guy should be the GOAT of the NBA. But they know he won't even participate in a 1 versus 1. Which essentially, when you break basketball down to its essence, it's me versus you. Mano y mano. And this guy has said he doesn't believe that's real basketball. And I personally believe that's not the reason why he believes that. I believe the reason he believes that is because he hasn't excelled at it. And when you have a track record of losing in 1 versus 1 in practices to Michael Beasley, who's a bad boy, but come on, son. Kyrie Irving, who is 6'3". Dwayne Wade, who is 6'5". I'd be worried too. I'd be a little bit worried too. And I'm just thinking of a scenario like, can you imagine if they had a 1 versus 1 tournament and Kobe turning it down? Can you imagine if they had a 1 versus 1 tournament and Michael Jordan turned it down? The reason MJ and Kobe would not turn it down is because they would want to make a point that we're here to embarrass. I'm here to let you know that I'm better than you. And not only am I here to let you know I'm better than you, I'm here to let all of these guys that's watching know I'm better than you. And I'm here to let the entire arena know that you're not on my level. They would make it personal. How do I know this? Go back to the All-Star game in 2013 when 34-year-old Kobe Bryant was checking LeBron James. Checking him. And LeBron wasn't used to that. He wasn't used to that. So for the fact that even NBA fans know this, it's crazy to me. It's hard to make a GOAT case when people feel like you are afraid to take on the challenge. If LeBron is the GOAT and he believes it, go out there and show it. Let him be beating his chest and doing all the stuff that he does and making them mean mugs every time he takes out each competitor one by one. That's what I think. I think you should go in there and be like, yo, they should have a tournament where one more turn all the way get to the round, the championship round, and then you take out the best. And like, I'm the best. Nobody could beat me one-on-one. Nobody. Like, nobody's beating me. I think that would make such a strong statement. But hey, this is just me. This is just what I think. And I think it's just telling that NBA fans know that this guy is absolutely... LeBron is going to run for the hills. And his fans are going to be running behind him with jars of honey in their hand. As you guys know, Joy Taylor, Emmanuel Acho, and a few other people made some headlines a few months ago when they got fired by FS1, Fox Sports 1. They were cord cutting. A lot of the shows were just floundering. They were not doing well, and she was amongst them, of the people to get to let go. Now, she was probably not the most high-profile name, but she was the one that was most talked about because she was part of a lawsuit that was filed against ESPN and others like I think Charlie Dixon and Skip Bayless and others. So she was already kind of trending in news anyway. She was on people's minds anyway this year. So when this news dropped, you know, a lot of attention was around her. Now, one of the people that first spoke about Joy Taylor when the lawsuit first dropped was Jason Whitlock, who also used to work at FS1. And he, you know how Jason Whitlock is, man. Some people love the way he talks. He can rub people, other people the wrong way, but he was, you know, saying what he was saying. But then he had this comment like peanut butter skin, and you remember what he was saying, right? So then Joy goes on the Cam Newton show, and Cam essentially asks her to weigh in on what Jason Whitlock had to say. And I think we did a show about it. She was like, is he still alive? And blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. And I think Cam is also not a fan of Jason Whitlock. I don't know what it is between the two of them. I don't know the history between them. So that was said. So this morning I woke up and I came across, where did I find it? I think it was on Instagram or something, or an article. I don't remember where Jason Whitlock was trending. And he was trending because of some comments that he made on his Instagram page directed towards Joy Taylor. And if you go to his page, the post read, Joy Taylor is wild and somebody needs to get her in line. And I'm like, okay, what happened this time? So I clicked on the video to hear the sound. And the way they like edited the video, it was kind of like he was reacting to what she said during that Cam Newton interview, but I felt like he had already responded to that. But I think it was from that because this clip was posted 2 weeks ago. So I didn't really hear what he had to say about her at the time. But yo, when I sat back and listened to what Jason Whitlock said in this sound here towards Joy Taylor, this beef is reaching a fever pitch. Like it's beginning to reach a fever pitch. So for those of y'all who didn't hear what Jason Whitlock had to say in response to Joy Taylor's comments on Cam Newton's show, I want to play that for you now. And I want to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to his comments here.
I am a gangster. I'm an extremely vengeful person. Well, I don't want to see him, but, you know, there's better people to look at. But, I mean, he's not going to go outside. You're not going to catch him outside.
Say less. Somebody. Anybody, Jason Taylor, somebody, come grab up your little sister, Joy Taylor. Tell her to quit fronting like she's some gangster, like she's Donna Corleone. This isn't a Godfather movie. Joy, you're not a gangster. You're not Peanut Butter, Tupac Shakur, Thug Life. Cut it out, Joy. You're going to let one of these idiots, Cam Newton, Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, whoever, Stephen A. Smith, whoever you're listening to that's telling you, man, we're going to get at Jason Whitlock. He's in witness protection. Where are you going to see him at? Joy, cut it out. Go on back to Pittsburgh. Go back to Miami. Go back to whatever it was you were doing before you slept your way into the sports media business. But the little group of idiots that you letting chirp in your ear and gas you up and put a battery in your back that Yeah, we're going to get at Whitlock. He's in witness protection. Cut it out. You way out over your skis. You're a little African-American mixed nut from Pittsburgh, from some suburban Pittsburgh. Somebody get Joy and pull her back in line, repent, become a woman. But all this little gangster stuff you trying to front like, it's just going to get you into trouble. Let the men handle this. And I'm aware of who's putting the battery in your back and how stupid they are. I'm very much aware. Not my first rodeo. They're not going to do anything to me that God doesn't allow.
So you heard what he had to say. Now, Jason is not a fan of Joy, and Joy is not a fan of him. Jason Whitlock has a lot of beefs with people in media. You saw the back and forth that he had with Stephen A. Smith last year, where Stephen A. Smith did something where he never did, where he was like calling out somebody by name. He's had some other issues with other people. He had some strong views about Deion Sanders and all of that. We did shows about it, and then some of the stuff he said, like he's been on the money about it. But Jason Whitlock generally is not liked by some of his peers for people that were on TV, right? I don't know what happened between everybody over there. I don't know. Like I've never been on TV. I don't know the relationships that everybody has. But now in this new kind of social media day and age that we find ourselves in, it's no holds barred, man. Everybody is letting it fly. Everybody is letting it fly. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you would never find a media personality calling out another media. It just wouldn't happen. It was almost like an unwritten rule. And if they felt something about one another, it was usually like held behind closed doors. But now, everybody's free game. This guy gonna talk about that guy gonna talk about this is the new era and time we in. I mean, we've been doing it in independent space. We've been calling out people before, like it was nothing to us, right? It was not a big deal. But to see now some of the people that were on TV going back and forth with one another, it's the new thing, man. It's the new thing. I'm not getting in between this beef. I don't matter to these people, so me getting in between it, I'm sure it doesn't matter at all to them. Joy, from the way I see it, kind of, I don't know if it's true. I could be looking at it from afar, but based on how she spoke on Cam's show, it seems like somebody that kind of looks down on people that are like in the independent space. This is just how it comes off. And ironically, a lot of the people that were looking down on people like myself and others now find themselves in this space. And I think that the best thing one could do is have an open mind and actually embrace some of the people in the independent space. That's what I think some people should do, right? That's what I think, because there are a lot of talented people in the space that are up and coming. A lot of guys out there that are better than me, and to just dismiss them as, oh, he's over there and over there, which is what she kind of did, and probably that's what set him off to say what he had to say. It's the wild, wild west out there, man. It is the wild, wild west.